Hey everybody, and welcome back to the 1902 Farmhouse renovation project. Yesterday, we got over here and replaced some rotten stuff on that side of the chimney. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted some pictures last few days of what we found, but I'll show you over here. This is typically this is going to be the worst side, I think. But basically, let me back up and give you an overview of what's going on here. So originally, right here was a big two windows, and it's pretty much mimicked these windows in this other room. So sometime or another in the, I'm gonna say 60s, maybe 70s, I don't know when. I think it had to be before I was born. So it had to be in the 60s, but anyway, they come in here and took up part of this and built this chimney in here. And so they never really even reframed the structure, as far as I can tell, for the chimney. They just went through the window, and they did cut, you know, where they had to cut for the brick. But as you can see, that 2x4 that's supposed to be right there, it comes down, and right here it starts rotting, and right here, I mean, behind there's nothing. I don't know if there was anything ever there, because this was the original windowsill plate. And then they come in here and they put this 2x4 and some more 2x4. I think it did add them 2x4s, because there's, I believe the one right beside them is going to be the original. Maybe. Actually, this whole thing may have been reframed, because this header's original. So I think this is original here for the window, and I think they added all these 2x4s to put this wood up. So luckily for me, all this wood from here over is it ends right here on this stud. So what I'm going to do is knock it off. I'm going to clean out, I'm going to cut that. I'm going to replace this stud. It's basically this jack stud here. I'm going to be replacing all the way to that seal right there. And of course we'll put in another stud probably right here, and then another stud right here where I can nail my sheetrock to, and then we'll put another stud over there against the chimney so that we can nail the siding to it. And then we'll replace this old shiplap siding with 3/4 inch plywood sheathing. And the hardest part yesterday really was getting the old 2x4s out. Those two I cut right there. Zoom in. I cut right there, and I replaced those two 2x4s, and they were the hardest to get out. And then I added that other one that goes all the way to the ceiling, and that's so that I have room here. Oh, it's kind of dark in here. Now I've got a stud here that I can nail sheetrock to, and then of course I just left these. And you can see there's a little bit of light, but I've got house wrap on it, and of course when we side it, that'll all be covered up. So the thing for the day is basically, I'm hoping, is to replace all this with plywood, and then on this window, this starts getting pretty rotten. It's actually, this piece here is 3 pieces, so we'll knock all that off from the bottom of the window down. We're going to restructure and reframe this window for the slider I bought. This is a 4x3, 4 foot by 3 foot. We'll rebuild the header, put a new header in, have another king stud over here where this stud here ends. See, that stud here don't go all the way up and down. So we'll take that out, we'll replace it with a real king stud and a jack stud at the header, and then we'll structure the box for the window. So I guess the first thing we're going to do is start knocking off these boards and see how we can do, and see how far we can get. Alright, get her peep. PPE on, safety glasses, gloves. A little bit chilly this morning, that wind, it's kind of windy outside. We're just gonna start right here. What we got going on here? Kind of behind the chimney a little bit on that side, so there's that sun bright. And I had a hard time getting those few left ones off. Hopefully it's picking it up. How basically this wall ain't nothing really supporting this wall from here out over. It ain't attached to this stud that's run up through here, so what I'm gonna do, of course it is attached to these three or so boards right there, but I think what I'm gonna do is take my Sawzall and cut. I'm gonna take my Sawzall and cut this off right even with this. Don't matter, because I'm going to replace this stud. This stud looks like it's about shot. It's split. Batteries not wanting to cooperate this morning. So this is off. Here's, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. I got to cut these. Alright, now I've got a damn gas meter right down here, right in my way. But hopefully I can get around it with the ladder. Hopefully. So I think now I'm at the point where I'm going to have to go outside and cut the rest of this away. I may just leave this for the time being. Let's see, I may just pull that one out. Just pull it off. Be able to get that little 2x4 here off. That's about shot, yeah. And the whole damn bottom thing's got a lot of rot in it, so I don't know how far back I'm gonna have to cut this beam. This beam is a 3.5 by 7.5 beam. So what I did on the other side, I took a 4x6, which is 5.5, 3.5 by 5.5, and I added a 2x4, and then I also added, I sandwiched in a 1/2 inch plywood. That brought up to 7.5. And of course everything is pressure treated but the plywood, so hopefully the plywood will be alright, but I sandwiched it between the 2x4 and the 4x6. Alright, so got a little bit more. I got to I want to take this off. I can probably easily get this off now because there's nothing really attached to it down there. They are up here, of course, but I don't think it'd be too hard. Let's see if we can get something in here and pry that back. Yeah, this 2x4 here is not in the best of shape. It's got a bad seam split. I mean, it looks like that when it was made. Sappy. got all these attached to it. So for right now, I'm gonna leave this where it's at till I get ready to tear off the rest of this. All right, so we got a little bit of cleanup to do out there to be able to get my ladder in here. I'll show you what I'm dealing with here. So we got a old flower bed here, so it's a power pole laying right there. We got a gas meter right here. I think I might go over the gas meter to the chimney and get here. So I got to finish cutting this. You can see it's attached behind the chimney. If it had butted up against it, I could have just kept knocking them off and we'd had it ready to roll. But I can't tell if there's another 2x4 supposed to be under that. Look at all that rot right there. Oh, that's just gone. Yeah. This chimney will never burn wood in it again. It'll just be basically gas logs inside of it. So I'm not really worried about it being, you know, good enough to burn wood in. But I do have a lot of places like this that I got to go back around and fill in. There's another one. Water can get in those cracks and that'll eat your mortar out. I don't know how many's like that, but I got a little thing I can go around and do it. It's like a little tube of size mortar repair or whatever you can call it. Okay, I'm gonna do this and I'll get back with you. All right, everybody. We've got a lot done since I left you, but cut out all this rod. I'll show you some pictures in. You can see it was pretty well gone. It's about 22 inches there I cut off, and added that, like I said, that 4x6 and then a 1/2 inch piece of plywood and then a 2x4. It brought it up real level with the whole beam. And then we started ripping out windows. So as you can see, we got a lot of restructuring to do. The bad thing is this stud that don't go nowhere, and all these tie into it. So I don't know how I'm going to restud this. I'm probably going to end up taking this one out. I know I'm going to have to take all this out to restructure this, because this little header that used to be in here ain't going to cut it. But I may go ahead and put a header up under the old header and go across to a king stud. So it's going to come over this way 4 foot, up 3 foot. And so we're fixing to get ready to start framing that. I'm not going to video it, but I'll show you what it looks like when we get done. Okay, here is the header installed, and we lucked out. We was actually able to keep the original header, and I just put the new header under it. So I didn't really want to have to tear all that out, but we've got the header and we got a jack stud. And so now we're fixing to make the cripples for the bottom plate, and we'll cut the top plate and make cripples for it to fit the window. So I'm fixing to make 3 cripples of 45 inches with a 5-degree down bevel, because I don't want it, the bottom plate flat. I want it beveled down a little bit. So I'm going to go get my compound miter saw, and we're going to get 3 cripples cut, and then we'll cut the bottom plates. All right, everybody, we got the window in. We got most of the plywood up. We got this big section here, little section here. The only thing I don't like about the window, I guess, is we installed it. I was on the outside, my wife's on the inside, and I didn't think about how much room I had on side to side, which down here wasn't much, but it's really right up against this side all the way. So, but as far as top and bottom, we stuck a 1/4 inch shim in it and got it off the bottom. Plus, you can see I flashed it, and also silicone the window in. And of course, with this blocking in, this wall is now very stiff. You know, the other wall, you could just move it in and out. So got
that studded up. Like I said, we just like about 3 pieces of plywood, and we're gonna call it a day. It has been a long day. I've been out here since almost 8 this morning, and it is almost 4, and I've sat down long enough to eat a little bite, and that's about it. So it's been 8 hours pretty much going. But I knew this wall was going to be the worst. So once we get done with this section, we like the next window is the office window. We'll have to reframe it, and the next window will be going away. So all we got to do with it is stud it and fill it. It has been very windy for the last 2 days, 10-20 mile-an-hour winds. So I can't really film outside. Plus, just trying to get house wrap on, it's almost impossible with this kind of wind. So we're not even going to attempt it today. We'll wait and we'll get ready for the whole side, which will hopefully be tomorrow or Tuesday at the latest, because they're calling for rain Wednesday. So thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe if you haven't.